this to all of the white people as a white person. We are the problem with this country. We have been the problem since day one. Since we designed this country to benefit white people. Beating black people, lynching black people, tearing out the fetuses, using babies as alligator bait, paying Charleston to beat our slaves, to whip them and put salt in their wounds by the day. Segregation, Jim Crow, the genocide of Native Americans, the Trail of Tears, Asians in internment camps, because how dare an Asian come to America? We have to put them in camps because we have to make sure America stays white. Stealing the land from Mexico, stealing the land from the Native Americans, stealing black people on the Middle Passage. Most of you people don't even know what the hell it is or how many people died or about the bull sharks that follow the ships because you don't care about actual history. Oh, hey, let's just take Hawaii. Let's go steal it from King Kamehameha. Hey, while we're at it in this great Christian nation, we're going to say that, you know what? We're a Christian nation made in the image of God. But we're just going to design it to benefit white people. Yeah, a black person's only worth 3/5 of a person. They can't vote. They don't have rights. They're not even a citizen until 100-something years later. Women? Nah. They just need to make us more white babies and fold our underwear and clean our socks and make us dinner and just serve the man. That's their job. We're not going to let them vote till the early 1900s, till the women's suffrage movement. Let's look at the Catholic Church. How many thousands of young men have abused and molested little boys? Oh, look, white people, white men. The Baptist Church. Decades they covered up sexual assault. White men. Gun violence. 98% are men. The vast majority men. White men. U.S. citizens. I know it's shocking. Not drag queens. Not gay people. Not transgenders. White men. Nothing to see here. January 6th. Whiny little children with micro penises. Mediocre white men didn't like the result of an election. And they felt so emboldened that they put a gallows up that they were going to hang the vice president of the United States, beat officers, crush their vertebrae, PTSD, brain damage, heart attacks. Hey, they're patriots. Yeah. Woohoo! But a black man has the audacity to kneel before the American flag. He's a son of a bitch. How dare him? May he burn in hell. But if you beat police officers, hey, you know what? No problem. The white man convicted felon child molester, he's going to pardon them because, you know, we're not racist at all. Every atrocity in this country has been white people. We have to admit it, people. When you go into an alcoholic meeting, what's the first thing they do? Hi, my name is XYZ and I'm an alcoholic. And white people aren't willing to have that conversation. Do you know why? Because they don't want their privilege to go away. Right now, my wife gets mad at me because I get frustrated. You know what? And I am pissed off. Because people in Minneapolis right now are getting pulled over just because they don't look white. Or because they have an accent. The ICE agents are making fun of the woman that they murdered. Oh, your accent isn't like mine. Prove to me that you live here. Hey, you're not white. Prove to me that you live here. That you're a citizen. And if not, I'm going to handcuff you, drag you out of your car, and I'm going to put you in jail for 9 hours, and I'm just going to release you with no due process. Nothing to see here, no paperwork. And in the last election, what happened? Right? 77 million people went to the voting booth and voted for the white man. The rapist, the pedophile, convicted felon, cheats on his wife, calls women fat piggy, looks at naked girls in locker rooms, causes an insurrection, steals from cancer charities, has dinner with white supremacists, very fine people on both sides to white supremacists. Hey, yeah, I'm not racist. Oh, no. I just want to demonize the who? The immigrants. Oh, yes, the brown people. That's right. So if you're a brown person and you've been here for 30 years from Mexico and you're undocumented, which is a civil offense, We're going to zip tie you. We're going to embarrass you. We're going to handcuff you, throw you in U-Hauls, naked, rip you out of cars. But if you're a rapist and a convicted felon, and very likely a pedophile from Epstein Island, and cause an insurrection, hey, you know what? You get to be president. Let me kiss your ass, white man. That's what it is. The majority of people that voted for him are white. The only demographic that didn't vote for Zohran Mamdani were white people. The early polling in the James Tallarico race.
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 5. That the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Call Holayim La, Al-Banawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakat, Kwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners. And shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. Job chapter 20, verse 5. That the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. And that's what we're literally seeing, man. We're seeing that status, that certain type of exaltation amongst the Edomites being brought low, being humiliated and called out by their own people, not just by the prophets, but by their own people also, for their nonsense, okay, their hypocrisy, okay, and you know, them just being complete hypocrites, man. Because this man will throw the book at you for what you do, but he's doing it 100 times worse. Okay, and he's also advertising and promoting those things on various platforms, whether it be social media, TV shows, movies, video games, etc. Okay, so this man's a big hypocrite. And again, you have this is also, and first and foremost, the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai orchestrating these things and bringing the prophecies to life. Okay, because this is of prophecy. Okay, which also goes into various precepts, but one come to mind we'll grab is Mark chapter 3. Okay, Isaiah chapter 19. Okay, you know, the division, man. Okay, so their joy, their prosperity, their mirth, all the things that they had, you know, those happy days, the good times, all those things, it's come to an end. Now it's nothing but a lot of people of woes, mournings, weeping, anguish, okay, sorrow. That's all you know. You're going to see more and more of these things intensely amplified, man. Okay, because this is just the beginning of this man's downfall, which we're witnessing. Okay, and again, this is the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai being placed upon all men. Okay, and you know, this video is actually 14 minutes long, but I only, you know, uploaded 5 minutes. Okay, and he's speaking the same thing that we've been saying for so long. But you know, when he looks like an Edomite, do we know for certain? No. But we also know, you know, we got to have correct discernment, you know, on everything, correct judgment. And also that you know, our people will only believe the truth. And especially what we speak is when the oppressor or somebody that looks like the oppressor state and profess these things. Okay? But let's continue, man, because again, like I said, this is the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, the Lord's spirit is consuming the earth, man. So this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and I'm going to read verses 8 to 9. And then shall that wicked be revealed, okay, which is the nation that was created to be evil, the nation that was created to be wicked, the nation that was created to conquer, devour, destroy, bring forth death, vexation, take away peace from the earth, etc. Okay, who calls himself right now so-called white people, Caucasians, Russians, Ireland, which we know they're not the Irish. What else? Just to name a few. Surrogates, Jewish. Just to name a couple. But we know who they truly are through the power and spirit and words of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. So this is the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that he's placed upon, not just on his prophets, but on all people to expose the problem, the issue of the earth. And again, you have their women, because women can actually, our women don't see it, but the women of their nation, they see the downfall of their nation, which they're not going to be exempt from judgment. Just because you're exposing your people and you want to gravitate towards Jake does not mean you're going to have a pass. Nah, you're gonna have to take that judgment, just like our women had to take that judgment. Okay, and even our women are going to be in the judgment seat. Okay, and especially those that made a foundation and helped to bring forth the legacy of this cave animal. Okay, I'm talking about you bed wenches. All right, so continuing on. With the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose calling is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Because this man, he's the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, man. He's set up to be the physical counterpart to do the bidding of Satan, man. Again, lying wonders, deceit, fraud. Okay, he's the what did Yahweh Shai say? He's the father of it. Okay, he's the first murderer. All these things. And that gangster rap, that drill rap, and the stuff that murder, kill, death. Esau was the first rapper, man. If you know, if you don't, study, man. Esau was the first drill rapper. Esau was the first NWA nigga with an attitude. Okay? And again, if you know, if you don't, you don't. But let's continue, because again, their own people is exposing them for who they truly are. From their woman to their men. And again, we're going to use correct discernment. I don't know if I don't know this dude's lineage. Again, the Lord might just be putting the spirit on him to expose his own people, or he might be a Jake or from another nation. And a lot of you Israelites that claim you're in the truth, you don't understand that. You don't understand how a man's lineage goes and how long it takes for an actual, let's say like a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, or Levi, and they lay down with let's say a Moabite, and per se. Let's just say that Southern Kingdom man is real dark. Now, you've only seen what they show you here in America on the TV. But if you actually go to those lands, you actually have a lot of dark-skinned Moabites, dark-skinned Ammonites, dark-skinned Ishmaelites. But you wouldn't know that because you're here and you only see what they promote on the TV. Okay? This is the book of Job, chapter 15, starting off at verse 5. For thy mouth utter thine own iniquity. So this man is uttering the iniquity, of the nation of the Edomites, which he may or may not be a part of. Okay? Again, we got to be balanced here. All right? Now let's say if he is, again, it's a prophecy of the Lord putting the spirit on these people to expose what we're exposing, to basically co-sign what the elder apostles, elder bishops, elders, and brothers on down have been stating for so long, man. Okay? Job 15 verse 5, for thy mouth utter thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Okay, because this man's tongue is, Esau, he's very malicious with his tongue. With his, $2 billion words and his trickery, and now these people are at the point, to be clear, blunt and straight, direct to the point, they don't give a fuck. Excuse my language, but that's basically how it is. They just basically publicly and openly being straight and direct with their agenda and their communication. Okay? Verse 6, thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. So you have their own nation, the men, and especially the women, because again, the women see the transition of power. The women see the transition of the downfall of their nation, and they also, which they've known, they've known, but now, since a great abundance of pressure is being applied on their own nation, and especially their women too, now they want to say that the so-called white man is the problem. He's this, he's that. But guess what? You wicked bitches partook. You had fun in the things that they were doing for over 500 years. You even committed some of the things that were done. You would force Jake to lay with you, because we all know that Esau can't hit the bottom, but Jake can. And if you know, you know. If you don't, hey, it is what it is. But, and then, if Jake wouldn't do it, she would lie and say that, Jake raped her or this and that. And then if Jake did do it and she got pregnant, that baby came out obviously looking like Jake, she would still say that she got raped and make some type of, and that again, all these things show you how wicked bitches are, man. Okay? Sirach 25 verse 19, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. And I'm just speaking of a couple examples here. Okay? Point blank period, man. Job 15 verse 6, thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee. And we see it, man. Because all these people are literally doing is just co-signing the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. And again, I made a statement, so let's continue and go on, because when you're divided, just like when we were divided, we fell. Because it was of prophecy, and this is of prophecy, because Esau, what does it state? They didn't consider their latter end, man. Nobody on this green earth considers their latter end. You have a lot of these wacky, tacky, slave plantation Christians, and also some of these bugged out so-called Israelites talking about the hell doctrine, this and that. So if you really truly believe that you're going to go to an actual place with a red man with a pitchfork and flames all around it, how come none of you simple, stupid Babylonians act right if you truly believe that? That's because you're fucking hypocrites, man. All of y'all are hypocrites. Nobody really believes in this Bible. Nobody really believes in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, but the predestinated, which we hope and pray to be, man. Point blank, period. St. Mark chapter 3, self-explanatory. St. Mark chapter 3, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And we have various examples of that happening right now. I don't need to give you examples. Your eyes should be locked on what's going on. Okay, what does it say in 2nd Esdras chapter 9? Measure thy time diligently, man. You should be focused, locked in, man. There's nothing else out here but this truth for us, man. Okay, verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan, okay, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, rise up against himself, against his own nation, their own guidelines, their own structure, how they govern the world, etc., their policies, all these things, man. Okay, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided again, which we are seeing, this is a clear. This man went in. I wanted to record the whole 14 minutes, but I didn't want to put y'all through that. But this is good information. I mean, come on, man. He went in. This is everything that we're saying. And just because, again, if he is an Edomite, just because you're saying it doesn't mean you're going to be exempt from judgment. But if you're not an Edomite, you should be glad. Even if you're still a heathen. Okay, because the heathens will receive a mercy. Esau's not going to receive none. Okay, and if Satan rises up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And that's the prophecy of these devils, man. After that 1,000 years of slavery, man, he's going to have an end. Because he wants to annihilate you Jakes, man. Because you Jakes are really the issue. And you stupid, simple Negroes, Hispanics, Native and Sindhu Indians ain't worried about us. Everything is centered around us, man. But you don't realize it. Okay? And the only ones that really truly realize that is what? The people that call the shots, the people that's in the shadows, which are the elites, the bankers, the ones that really give the nay or the yay. All right? So let's close out. This is Sirach. Now this precept, before I read this precept that I'm about to read is really talking about Israel. And you can read it for yourself. You can go up and start from verse 1 and read on down. But it's technically really talking about Israel, but we can still apply it in these last days, because this is actually what a lot of these people are doing, especially these Edomites. Sirach 41 verse 7. The children, okay, because this is the lineage of the wicked. Okay, and then now they want to speak up, because what has continued to be done to us is being transitioned to them, and they don't like it. Okay, that's the only reason why they're saying something. The children, Sirach 41 verse 7, the children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. So they're complaining about, again, the ordinances, the guidelines, the structure, okay, of their forefathers, and how things have been going, trickling down the ladder. Okay, now they want to expose the hypocrisy, expose the oppression. They want to speak on the non-equality and all these things. But guess what? It's too damn late. It's too damn late. Okay? Judgment is literally around the corner. You can complain of your ungodly forefathers and those that are actually in rulership positions now that have somewhat authority and power. It's not going to exempt you, make you feel like you're a part of the team or anything that you think. It's over. So I don't want to rot to Zah, man. I hope and I pray that this lesson was edifying, uplifting, and informative to the true sincere Akim Wa Akwaf. So with that, I'm just going to say, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.